Now that Joe Biden has beaten out Bernie Sanders for the Democratic nomination, the establishment of the party is doing a victory lap and attempting to beat back any attempts at real progress. Here's footage from yesterday's platform committee vote on Medicare for All.
Voting has closed on this amendment. The motion was not approved by the members, and the language as proposed will remain unchanged.
Yep, they voted down Medicare for All 36 to 125. This is as 5.4 million Americans lost their health insurance from February to May because of the pandemic. It wasn't just Medicare for All that they shot down, though. They also shot down more incrementalist approaches, like changing the Medicare age from 65 to 55, or expanding it to children, or legalizing cannabis. Very small, popular proposals that they shot down. And then the body blows just kept on coming. The DNC Platform Committee also rejected an amendment to condition U.S. financial aid to Israel on violating Palestinian rights and the annexation of the West Bank and other areas. So basically, Israel gets aid from the United States no matter what they do, no matter the apartheid they do. The unfortunate reality is that progressives don't have any leverage in this pandemic and in this Trump era. I kept hearing from prominent voices on the left online that Trump would be way better for progressives than Hillary Clinton. I despised Hillary Clinton, thought she was one of the worst Democratic nominees in history. But certainly the candidate who was more to the left was better for the left than the far-right loon in Donald Trump. And we're seeing this now because progressives in 2020, the theory was that Trump would galvanize the Democratic Party and the left so we would be so strong that we would be able to defeat the Democratic establishment. Well, Joe Biden is the nominee, and right now the Democratic establishment is doing a victory lap, puffing out their chest and shooting down legalizing marijuana, which, by the way, has like 65 to 70% popularity throughout the country. Do we need 95%? Is that when the Democratic Party will lead from behind? So it's just ridiculous. It saddens me to say, but when it's a disaster situation like a pandemic, when people are feeling unsettled, enormously so, and everything is new and changing and scary and bad, the return to normalcy, it's very appealing for people. And then all of that toxic stew, plus Trump's general incompetence even before the pandemic, is what led to Biden not just being the nominee, but now seemingly running away with it. And so the DNC and the Platform Committee can just do whatever they want and run roughshod over progressives. And that's basically what they're doing. And I think progressives are a little bit downtrodden and beaten down, and it makes sense. Anticipating virtual floor fights and frustration from progressive activists who want the party to set an even more aggressive policy course, DNC Chair Tom Perez said at the top of the committee meeting that we should never confuse unity with unanimity, nor should we confuse debate with division. Indeed, as the Platform Committee went on, several proposed amendments were rejected, including an attempt to shift platform language to fully support Medicare for All, and another to more forcefully condemn Israel's treatment of Palestinians. But guys, it's not all doom and gloom. The platform does set aggressive goals for combating climate change, including making all American power plants carbon neutral by 2035 and adding 500 million solar panels and 60,000 wind turbines to the country's electricity grid within the next 5 years. It also calls for a $15 minimum wage, mandatory paid family leave, more federal gun control, broad changes to federal sentencing guidelines and drug laws, and many other changes that most Democratic candidates for Congress and the White House have supported for years. Keywords there being supported for years, because God forbid the DNC platform lead from in front, they always lead from behind, and so you have to have progressive, strong candidates forcing these issues through, and then the Democratic Party will reluctantly adopt them. But of course they don't adopt Medicare for All, because that would be a huge blow, and in the end, to the exploitative, disgusting private insurance industry in this country, health insurance. But many health insurers donate to Democrats, and so that system is so entrenched. So they're willing to give on family leave, they're willing to give on climate change, because largely oil companies, there are many exceptions, but donate more to Republicans, and there's a lot of money and financial gain in solar panels, renewable energy, investment in that area. So all of the issues where there isn't as much of a threat to specific institutions that the Democratic Party holds near and dear to their pocketbooks, they're going to be more willing to cave on. But Medicare for All, that is a huge threat to these industries. And even though it would save countless lives. So they don't cave. And they know that right now they have progressives held hostage. The dynamic is very different. It's kind of the shock doctrine that Naomi Klein talks about in a different sense here, where basically when systems are vulnerable, when there's a disaster, powerful actors use that vacuum to push through their extreme agendas. And in this case, it's an extremist neoliberal centrist push. They're going to give some things, but they're going to force progressives into submission because they're going to use all of the chaos that we're all experiencing and that strong desire to return to normalcy to push progressives down, which is what they have wanted all along in order to protect their financial interests, and in many cases for these Democratic consultants who populate the party, protect their jobs.